Leslie. I'm the programming director, and learning along with you all what the changes are to B4. So each week I'm going through each of the new categories and learning of the new adaptations. So let me move this guy over here. So, well, it's going to let me. Okay. So there are some new credits in water efficiency, which we'll go over. Sustainable sites and location and transportation. They kind of took parts of those out and added the new category. Water efficiency is pretty streamlined like it was last time, but they're tackling some bigger water systems, which I think is really important. So if I could get it to, I don't know what's not going, guys. There we go. Okay, great. So last week I just went over some of the overall comparisons. I'll just repeat some of that so everyone's aware. The focus for V4 is quality versus quantity. They're including metric units, so they're trying to move LEED B4 into the international sector. So you'll see metrics, liters, meters, all of those. They've updated all the standards to 2012. They've added additional standards. So for the, they added historic preservation for the sustainable sites. You'll see they've added some new things for the water that we'll cover. They streamlined the templates. I haven't actually been able to get into a template to see what it looks like, but I'm hoping to play around with that later. There's no more numbers, so there's no more water efficiency prerequisite 1, water efficiency credit 1. They're just titles. So they've eliminated the numbers, and they've done a lot of renaming and combinations of credits. This I went over last week as well, but these are all the new use types and that they've added into each of the rating systems. So they're targeting hospitality, data centers, warehouse distribution, schools, retail, and then mid-rise. So this is really important with water use because water is used a lot in hospitality and in schools. So these are all the credits. You see the new credits, integrative process, location and transportation, but we're going to cover water efficiency today. So here are the overall credits in water efficiency. You can see everything that I've started is a new credit in the water efficiency category. So outdoor water use reduction is now a requirement. Building level water metering is now a requirement, which is really exciting, but could, you know, for certain rating systems it could be hard. Cooling tower water use is new, and then water metering, the credit is new. And then the indoor and outdoor water use, they just updated some of the language. So outdoor water use reduction is prerequisite. It's brand new. The goal here is that you have to reduce your outdoor water use by 30%, and it has to be associated with EPA's water sense water budget tool. So you can't just arbitrarily say, hey, we've reduced our water by 30%. You actually have to use the calculator. So hopefully we can. Let's see if it'll let me open it. So this is kind of what it looks like. You'll go to the water sense budget tool, and then you have the step-by-step. It walks you through. This is just a PDF, and it walks you through how to
plug in your information and what to plug in, essentially. It's an Excel spreadsheet that you use, and then I'm assuming you upload it from there. Okay.
There's other things, no permit, irrigation, alternative compliance, that's what the letter.
So, yeah, Brad's saying, I don't know. Or no irrigation. So you have the option to do no irrigation. I brought in the book to show you the step-by-step. So the new book is really useful. They give you the step-by-step guidance, and then they have, things for calculations, which is really nice. Some of the previous guys weren't as comprehensive. They didn't, they just said, here you go, good luck. This is much better. And they break it down for the use type. So if you're doing schools, this is the type of calculation you use. They have their insets per the use type, which is really, really nice. And they have like canvas tips and things like that. So there's, if you don't mind passing that around, and then see kind of what it looks like. Yeah, it's 800 pages. It's bedtime reading. Let me see. This mic thing is a little difficult. Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. So here are the requirements. Reduce your outdoor water use through one of the following options: non-vegetated surfaces, such as permeable or impermeable pavement, should include exclude from landscape area calculations. So your different options, like most credits, you have the no irrigation. So show that the landscape does not require a permanent irrigation system. So before, for the credit outdoor water, it was 18 months you had to get your vegetation up and running. Now it's about 2 years. So they give you an additional 6 months. And then you have your option to reduce irrigation. And you obviously have to, you got to meet the requirement of at least 30%. And then you want to use your peak watering month. So they usually say that's in July, give or take. Indoor water use reduction. So this was the same prerequisite as before. Last time it was 20%. They're staying with the 20% threshold of water use reduction. However, they are requiring that all of newly installed fixtures have the WaterSense labels or equivalent on them. So that would be your toilets, your urinals, your private lavatory faucets, and shower heads. So that's something new. I'm sure most people were actually using fixtures that said WaterSense on them, but this is now a requirement. I think it's just an extra level of security. They also are now accepting processed water. So before, they weren't really considering processed water as part of the calculations. Now they are including appliance and processed water. So they cover the different types of appliances. So that would be a clothes washer, residential or commercial, and then their associated requirements. So Energy Star for residential, and then a commercial CEE Tier 3A. And then it goes down the list of dishwashers, ice machines, and then pre-rinse valves. And then there's additional appliance and process requirements for retail, schools, healthcare, and hospitality. The reasoning behind that is because they use more water than an office building does. So they're taking that into consideration. They've also added cooling tower requirements to the prerequisite. So your cooling tower has to be compliant with ASHRAE 189. And then, so the requirement calls out that you can't use, says no once-through cooling. So they want you to have several cycles to go through. And then you have to have cooling towers and evaporative condensers have to be equipped with makeup water meters, conductivity controllers, and airflow alarms, efficient drift eliminators that reduce your drift to maximum of 200, wait, is that 2,000% of recirculated water? So the goal, I think the reason why they've included processed water and cooling towers is because they use a lot of water. I think I read that cooling towers in the United States use about 30% of our building water usage. So they're tackling a big water consumer here with LEED B4. Building level water metering, this is also a prerequisite, brand new to LEED B4. So they're requiring that each project be capable of measuring whole building water use. So if PWSA takes care of your water, then, and they send you your monthly reports, that counts. You can, just as long as you're tracking your water, that would count. You have to submit your monthly reports, and you also have to submit your annual reports on your water usage. You also can install, if you don't want to go through PWSA, you can install your permanent water meters, and you need to commit to 5 years of sharing your data. And then we'll go into what those systems are separately. Outdoor water use reduction. So this is just another level on top of the prerequisite. So this was originally water efficient landscaping in version 3. You see now for most projects, for 50% reduction, you get 1 point, and for 100%, so no irrigation, you get 2 points. So this is different from version 3. Version 3, you got 2 points for a 50% reduction and 4 points for 100. So they reduced their point thresholds by 50%, right? Is that right? So they're really, I think they've added this because of the new prerequisite. They're trying to make your water reduction, they want you to strive to use no irrigation at all. And again, you have to use your WaterSense water budget tool to calculate that. Innovative wastewater technologies has been removed. I think the reason behind this is because of codes and regulations. There's been a lot of red tape with this credit. There's only been a handful of projects in this region that I know of. One is we have the convention center. PNC is pursuing it, and then this. So 3 buildings, and we have over, I think, 200 LEED certified projects in the region. So that's not even, I mean, that's 1% of our buildings are able to actually achieve this. So I think that's why they've taken it out, and they've added in some of the other credits. They are still going to use it as a pilot credit, so projects can still pursue this option. I know in San Francisco, there are $250,000 grants out there that building owners can apply for to help install and put a black water treatment facility in their building. And it's working. So San Francisco's population is going up and the water consumption is going down. So by able to reuse the water, black water, they're saving significant amounts of water in San Francisco. So I'm sure there's other areas that may be a little bit more progressive or have been able to work with their health department, things like that, that we're able to pursue this. And so I'm sure projects will still pursue this. I just don't know how many. So again, this is the credit indoor water use reduction. So they've added additional thresholds. So before it was 30, 35, and 40%, and then if you went to 45%, you got an exemplary performance point. They've added 25% now for 1 point, 45, and then 50. So you see that for building design and construction, you can get up to 6 points for this particular credit, but for schools, retail, and hospitality, they don't have an option. So you just see the different point thresholds per use type. So IDMC has a significant opportunity to get a chunk of points just by choosing water efficient fixtures. So these projects were also saying that if we don't have lavatories in our buildings, then, or we don't have faucets and things like that, then we don't have to calculate water at all. And they're now saying that, so when no facilities are available within a project boundary, the closest available restrooms must be included in the credit calculations. So you can't just say, we don't have any restrooms. You have to use some, you have to incorporate somewhere that's got facilities. I'm not quite sure, because I haven't submitted this to see like what that process is and what their feedback would be from our reviewers. I think they just don't want people to see the names. And that's what it's kind of.
Like, what about here? Like, you guys don't really own that now.
No, but we have like the shower room, shower and changing room, that was put in for us. So like we have some say in like what systems. But yeah, I mean, it's a good question, like in an office versus a building. If you're an office and you're an occupant of an entire building, what do you need to push forward to the building? I don't know. That's a good question. I should write that down. And then the duration-based automated control faucets, they're not using them anymore because most people will then go back after the first round, and by then you've lost your water savings. So they've taken that out of, it's no longer allowed in the design case, which is good to know. So these are the different process water requirements. So your compliance, so any project can achieve 1 point by meeting any of these process water requirements. So one of them is a washing machine, that's on premise, the minimum capacity. It gives you all of the calculations per system. So your imperial unit is 1.6 gallons per pound, and then your IX unit is 7 liters. So they're ensuring that the international is converted. And I think this chart is actually in the book if you wanted to reference it in particular. So, but the project must process at least 120,000 pounds of laundry per year. So you can't just, I've got a washer and dryer, and we use the washer and dryer a couple times a year and get a point for it. It has to be a significant amount of water. And then here is for the kitchen usage. So projects must serve at least 100 meals per day of operation. And then all of the equipment. So dishwashers, they have to be Energy Star, and they have the different types of dishwashers. So your under counter, your stationary, single tank, multiple tank, light machines, things like that, and then your food steamers. So they call out all of the different types of appliances, and then what they need in order to meet the requirement to get a point this way. Cooling tower. So here you're encouraging projects to analyze water source and maximum water cycles. So you're not using, cooling towers aren't using once through cooling, right? They're cycling through several times, reusing that water several times, and then they have different types of, it says, for cooling towers and evaporative condensers, conduct a one-time potable water analysis in order to optimize cooling tower cycles. Measure at least 5 control parameters listed in Table 1. So the thing here is they've added, and we'll at the very end of the series, we'll go over Integrative Process, which is a brand new credit category. This is where they're doing collaborative, synergistic credits, right? So you can go after some of the Integrative Process credits because you have to do analysis prior to actually the design and construction of the building, and one of them is with water. So they want to know what your water analysis is. So this would be a synergistic credit with the Integrative Process credits. And we'll talk more about that when we cover Integrative Process, but I just wanted to highlight that. And then this is the table 2. This is how you get your point threshold. So a maximum number of cycles achieved without exceeding any filtration levels or affecting operation of condenser water system. So a maximum of 10 cycles, you get 1 point. If you get anything less than 10 cycles, you get 2 points. Water metering. So this is beyond the entire building water metering. This is specific systems. So you're rewarding projects for sub-metering at least 2 water end uses. So you could do irrigation. So you have to meter at least 80% of the irrigated landscape area. So that's key. It's not just, hey, we're going to sub-meter this, but it actually has to meet a certain threshold. Indoor plumbing fixtures and fittings. So that would be your toilets, your faucets, your shower heads, anything like that. And again, you're metering at least 8% of the fixtures. You've got your domestic hot water. Again, you're meeting that 8% threshold of your hot water heating capacity. Your boiler. It gives you a different, I think this is covering different size of buildings. So you have a boiler for a projected annual water use of 100,000 gallons, or a boiler, so they're going over 100,000 gallons, or what your BTUs are. So how much energy is it using, or how many gallons is it? And you can calculate it that way. You've got your reclaimed water. This might be a little bit harder to meter. And then you have your processed water, so meter at least 8%. So that would be your dishwashers, clothes washers, pools, humidification systems, anything like that. So those are the credits. So I imagine there's going to be questions.